everybody. You see this? It's a timer. We're live, by the way. This is the first time we are in person.
This is face reveal. Oh boy.
Face reveal. Everybody's seen this face. Well, maybe not here because
we've never done
this together live in person.
Live show before.
In 5 seconds. Wait for it. 3, 2, 1. We can now curse.
Hey!
Thanks, YouTube, for your dumb policy. Anyways.
Yeah, that is a really bad policy. And so...
Ignore that.
This is going to be, like, probably not a one-time thing, but a once-in-a-blue-moon thing where we're in, like, this sort of studio. We're definitely going to have, like, video for the summer because we're going to be, like, filming it on Zoom.
We'll be more, like, at home and other places. Yeah. You'll be all over the place, but...
I'm going to be literally all over the place. It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be fun is what it's going to be. But we'll be doing episodes from all over. I'll probably be a lot at home, but we're going to be having more video. But welcome to episode 4 of Pond Hockey.
It's already in episode 4.
It is.
It's crazy.
And the playoffs are going insane, by the way.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. If you guys notice, I'm not wearing a Bruins jersey right now.
I don't have one. I'm wearing a
I'm
wearing a Tupac hoodie.
I'm not wearing a Bruins jersey right now, which means I didn't lose my bet. Now
I don't have the Avs taped to my forehead, so I didn't lose my bet.
Yeah. So, like, I can't be too happy right now because as of right now, it looks like Toronto's going to drop Game 1, but we lost Game 1 of the first round, so I'm not, like, too worried about it. But at the same time, I guess we'll just jump right into the Leaf series since that's been probably...
I feel like it's the biggest thing we have to talk about.
Well, it's the first time since, like, to let you guys know here, I'm 21 years old. I was born in 2001, August 2001. With that math, the quick math, if the viewers want to do that, I was 2 years old the last time Toronto won a playoff series. 2 years old.
Oh, my God.
There were some names. I looked up the roster just for giggles of the team that won in 2004 versus the one today. And you literally had guys like Matt Sundin, Darcy Tucker, Ty Domi.
Matt Sundin was there?
Yeah. It's been that long.
Oh, my God.
You have players who have spanned their entire careers from 2004 to last season. And that's their entire career, and it took that long for the Leafs to win a round. To give you some perspective, Jason Spezza started and finished his career before the Leafs won a playoff series. Yeah. And he is in the Toronto front office right now, which is surreal.
Hey, he knows winning, though. To a degree.
I mean, to a degree. He never won a cup, and...
it's a big shame for that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he wins one in management this year. I don't know. I think the playoffs are just wide open, though, with the results we got.
Yeah, the less I look at my bracket, the better I feel.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing we forgot to do, I should have been reminding you this, but it's because I'm an idiot, was we should have taken screenshots of our things and put it out. We still can.
We can put it out on Twitter. You'll just see the wrong picks, like me thinking the Rangers would actually win a round,
or me
the
thinking
Bruins
the Wild would win the cup.
That one was probably the worst one. Underratedly bad.
That was so bad.
Yeah.
I hate you, Dallas.
I mean, hey, Jake Ottinger, I like you until possibly the 4th round if my bracket ends up being right. I don't know if it will be. We'll see. Edmonton's looking pretty good.
Mine's in the toilet.
Yeah. I mean,
I still have the Devils who can make the finals, but...
Yeah, you still have them. You know, they got a good chance of it, too. With that Canes-Devils series is going to be...
So I guess, at the very least, let's start by stating which teams are now in the second round, because we're starting the second round. So we got... The matchups are as follows. On the east side, we have Carolina and the Devil. We have the Carolina Hurricanes facing the New Jersey Devils for the winner of the Metro, and then for the winner of the Atlantic, we have the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Never thought that would get sad.
The Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
Don't think anybody was expecting that. I don't think people were expecting the Lightning or the Bruins to lose. LOL Bruins. Yeah. We'll be getting into that. I will be cursing like a sailor. I hate you, Bruins, with everything, with passion. Anyways, so we got that. And then on the western side, coming out of the Central is Dallas, the Dallas Stars, versus the Seattle Kraken.
Dude.
We're in the Central this time. Yeah. Anyways,
what a win by the Kraken in that series, though, taking down the
yeah.
defending champs. Oh, my God. That was...
And then coming out of the West is the Edmonton Oilers facing the Las Vegas Golden Knights. So those are the 8 teams.
Yeah.
Those are the final 8 heading off, squaring off at a big...
Yeah. What do you think the biggest surprise has been? Like, which team are you the most surprised seeing in the second round?
I mean, the answer is obvious, is it not? It's Florida.
Yeah,
it
Florida.
Has to be. They were down 3-1. They were getting the crap kicked out of them. They were playing Sergei Bobrovsky because Alex Lyon wasn't good. And Bobrovsky sucks. He was terrible in those games.
Except
Game 7.
The thing with Bobrovsky now is he's kind of turned on a switch. Like, the Panthers are on track to win Game 1 against Toronto, which, like, I still can't believe Toronto made it. After all of that, like, I genuinely thought when Stamkos tied it in Game 6 that it was the beginning of the end. Like, we've seen this before. Like, friends and family who were texting me during the game.
I wish I had that photo.
They saw the picture of me. I looked very, very depressed because I was, but it's one of those things where I wasn't expecting it, and I think that's what made it so much better was because I didn't expect it. Because, like, when that game went to overtime, I'm like, I genuinely don't think they're going to pull it out. I don't. They got outplayed. In my opinion, they got outplayed in the entire series. Like, I don't think there was one game other than Game 2 where they completely outplayed the Lightning. I think it was all Lightning all the time, and the Leafs just caught bounces or breaks, or that's really all you need. They haven't had that in the last 19 years, so I'll take it. But
that is true, but... I mean, it was a series that I was feeling like going in that you guys had it, even though, like, reputation.
That's why I didn't believe, just off of reputation, what I've seen alone.
Because all the other games was like, okay, Bruins in 18 went to the Cup final. Bruins in 19, I forget what happened to them.
19. So 18 they lost, I think, in the second round. 19 they lost in the Cup final. 2020, the Blue Jackets, that
I think
whatever.
That bubble year.
Yeah. Bubble year doesn't, like, the Cup counts, but everything else, like, just a blur. 2021, we don't talk about it.
The bubble series, we don't ever talk about it. 2021, oh, that was just hurts.
Yeah, listen. All of you. All 0 of you in the room. All 0 of you in the room. I know it's just that one, but all 0 of you in the room. We do not talk about 2019. We don't ever. They won around this year, but
that is true.
Speaking of players on that team, though, there was a stat. There was a certain statistic of my favorite human in the world.
Was it the one I tweeted? Or was the one that we tweeted?
Yes, it was.
No. Let me find this tweet.
I know the stat. I have it committed to memory.
I have 3, I think.
I have it committed to memory.
Okay.
The Justin Hall one? Let me just say the Justin Hall one.
And the potential series.
Yeah. Let me just talk about Justin Hall really quick. Justin Hall played 5 of the 6 games in the Leafs Lightning series.
He played all but Game 6.
He played all but Game 6. Game 6, the Lightning only scored 1 goal. To give you an idea, Justin Hall was on the ice for 14 of 21 Tampa Bay goals. Dude, for some perspective, I genuinely don't know if you put an ECHL player, which is the minor league to the minor league, in that position, they'd probably do better. Like, I'm not even kidding.
I just can't believe that was crazy to me. For reference, like, for just basic math right here, that's called a 2-to-3 ratio.
Yeah, 67%. Way to go, Justin! Reinforcing the narrative.
Yikes.
No.
I don't find it a coincidence, Liljegren, and as soon as Gustafsson finally got cleared of injury.
One goal? They gave up 1?
He got thrown in.
1 goal?
Although I say this, that Gustafsson didn't play today for some reason.
I don't know. I mean, for the Leafs-Panthers series, I think it's going to be more offense-oriented than defense because both teams are just
go to the 7D.
Yeah. I would go 7D because the Panthers take a lot of penalties. This is the big thing with them. Paul Maurice teams notoriously take a ton of penalties. The Panthers were the most penalized team in the NHL this year, and I don't
Were
think
they
it was
really?
even close. Oh, yeah. I don't think it was even all that close. Like, if you look at the stats from before, the Jets from a long time ago, like from whenever Paul Maurice started his tenure with the Jets to where they ended, I think they were top 3 in penalty minutes.
I can believe
every
that.
single year. Like, it was bad. So, like,
Was this
in
before
terms
Rick
of that,
Bowness came in?
Yeah, it was before.
Yeah.
Like, you got to put Gustafsson in for the power play because even tonight, the Leafs power play just couldn't get it done. It's like, it's game 1.
Gustafsson's a really, like talking for Caps experiences, I was so sad when he got traded. I was very
Sure
sad.
does.
I do
Yeah.
like Sandin to a degree, but
You're going to like Sandin. That's
I'm
going to
very,
end up...
very sad. Gustafsson just kind of came out of nowhere as well. It's made it wild. He was just mediocre with the Flyers and Canadians, and he's like, hi, I'm very good at hockey now. I'm just going to start scoring a ton of points.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi. Hello.
I don't understand it, but the Justin Hall stat. Since we're not live on any certain radio,
Where's the
and
picture?
we're allowed to do whatever we want.
Where's the picture?
The Justin Hall performance was probably the most piss poor performance I've seen from an NHL player in a long time. Like, literally in a long time. And there have been some really shitty NHL players that have graced the ice surface, especially for Toronto. Yeah, like, just get them off.
We'll just I'll show this here, but you'll see a bigger image on the screen.
Get him off.
It's Justin Hall. I think it's Justin Hall.
It's Justin Hall.
It says, get ready to learn Chinese, buddy.
Do you know what that's from? That's from Adam Silver in the NBA. Yeah.
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, have you ever heard of the Shanghai Sharks of the Chinese basketball
Oh my
league?
God.
Yeah, it's a Shanghai Sharks. Yeah, he's going to be playing for the Shanghai Sharks. It's a completely different sport and a completely different league, but there's a hockey team named the Sharks.
Funny.
Yeah, because Justin Hall is I just never want him to grace the ice ever again. Like, you have so many guys who can do what he does, just a lot better.
I know people can't see it, but it's still like the images we have from each other are just so funny.
But no, when that overtime win, and I'll get off Justin Hall's case. I think he'll end up seeing the ice again in the playoffs, much to my chagrin. But off of Justin Hall, when that overtime goal went, I don't think I've ever gotten the amount of texts and calls at once when that happened.
Oh my goodness.
I got, no joke, like the final tally, it was like 18 Snapchats and like a solid 70 text messages and probably
God.
6 phone calls. Like,
yeah, no,
I didn't even see the Leaf celebration because I was watching the game with my girlfriend, and when the puck went in, I literally like crawled like this into like the fetal position and was just like, there's no way they did that. There's no way they did that. There's no way
I
they did
remember
that.
this well because it was like they scored. I saw your snap, just hands on the head down, just like so dejected. I was sitting there. I was like, oh no! I saw it was like going to OT, and I looked. I turned on the game on Sling, and I'm sitting there just like in my head. I'm like, please score. Please score. Please score. I'm like, please don't let Game 7 happen. Like, I will feel so bad if it does. And I just sat there.
We
I
would have
was
lost.
there. I would have felt so bad. I would have felt horrible. Because I don't know. I would have had to sit here and be a therapist for a whole episode.
Dude, no. Like, I was fully prepared. Like, while the game was going on, when Stamkos tied it and they were just getting outplayed, I was literally taking notes for this podcast to just go off on them. Like,
turn into the Joker.
Yeah, that really would have happened.
Thank God the Joker.
It would have been the second coming of Steve Dangle after the Leafs lost to the Zamboni driver.
That actually would have been, yeah.
It would have been, because I would have been so done. Like, there was a point where I was like, you might have to just get rid of everyone and start over. Like, legitimately. It got that bad where you might just have to restart.
Because it's one of those cases where if they lost this year, especially because, you know, going off one of the topics, I mean, they went all in. Gustafsson, Jake McCabe, Sam Lafferty. I know he didn't play well.
He's a fourth liner, so he got him for grit.
You get him for that. Noel Achari, and then obviously the big one, Ryan O'Reilly.
Who's been great.
All in for you. This is all in. This is as all in as you get. The 2020 year that they got like Nick Foligno, that wasn't all in. That was
Nick Foligno
They just tried
trade.
something. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Just went horribly wrong.
The guy got injured. You can't really do anything about it.
But I go off of that because like this is what going all in is like.
Yeah.
And to see this, that if like you see all this, they lose a game 7 the same way, I don't know how I would have reacted. I would have felt really bad, but I know damn well enough you would have been sitting there just probably at a loss of words.
I would have been saying things that
we would have had to bleep out like every 2 seconds.
Yeah, because like we can like swear when we're not live on the air, but we're gonna do it like sparingly because we don't want the show to be like borderline unlistenable. I don't think it's entertaining to hear me go like beep 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 like to everything. Like I'm not gonna do that. I might get angry. Like, am I upset that the Leafs lost game 1? Of course, but it's one of those things where like life goes on. There's still at least 3 more games left.
And they at least finally slayed their demon.
Oh yeah, they slayed one demon, but not the big one.
What's that, game 7?
No, the big one is the 1967 thing that everyone forgot about all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah. Well, because it's has been such a meme before. And I guess let me talk about the second tweet. The second tweet. Oh, Twitter just took off my, all right, give me 1 second. Here it is. So we were talking about the Justin Hall one, but there was it sandwiched between the Justin Hall tweets from Sportsnet Stats was this one. Maple Leafs in potential series clinching games since 2013. This was including Game 5 of this last series, not Game 6, however. Record 0-11. Now
1-11 now.
Yeah.
1-11, baby.
1-11. Goals for 25. Goals against 45.
Oh.
Did they score on the power play?
What
in Game 6?
No.
Did they have any?
No.
Did they have any power play?
In what, Game 6?
Yeah.
I think like 2, maybe.
Then they went 2 for 26.
Oh my God.
Penalty kill. I don't know what that would be like. For this. It says 66.7%.
The fact that any of those stat numbers have like 67 like teetering on it, just it makes me physically ill. Like whenever I make fun of anyone else's team, whenever mine's getting made fun of, all of the ones are just gifs of their players hoisting the cup and like, oh, we can't find video footage of yours. Guys, I know you lost your 2004 joke. I know you lost it. But please be more creative because it's really gotten old. Just like their drought, it's gotten old. Like, find something new. Make fun of something that's like genuinely funny. Like, hey, your mascot looks stupid. Or, hey, Austin Matthews is useless. Or, hey, like, do whatever. Like, there's a clear-cut thing that happened 2 years ago.
From Seattle. Yeah,
Montreal. Make fun of Montreal. That's literally all you have to do. It'll upset me probably more than the cup thing.
It's okay. There's a bigger meme team in the league right now. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, we're not the biggest meme.
It's called the Arizona Coyotes.
Oh, well, I thought that wasn't the direction I thought you were going in.
No, actually.
Not the
do you want to go in that direction?
I want to go in that direction.
I guess let's finish up the thing here. I want to say, obviously, best player for the Leafs without question. We know who it is. It was Ryan O'Reilly.
It's O'Reilly. I know a lot of people would say Matthews, and I agree to a point that it could have been Matthews, but just Ryan O'Reilly was at the center of literally everything in that series, and he was the center of everything in Game 1. And I think
the biggest thing that helps as well is like you needed a winner.
You
need a winner, and that sounds stupid, but like because I talk from an experience that's like a lot less for hockey, but in just any sport, like you need veteran leadership that like knows how to win.
Especially for a team like the Leafs who haven't won in so long. Like, you have a former captain. You have a player that's done it before. That was a leading figure on a cup-winning team.
Yeah, you need to get rid of a meme that was as painful as Groundhog Day for the Leafs. And
it still feels like Groundhog Day.
Hey, it's getting better.
Slowly. You do realize that bar is like, I know we're in the basement right now, but that bar is like
under the ground,
buried. It is like at least 12 feet under by now. It has lived 2 lifetimes.
It's now up to 6 feet.
It has lived 2 lifetimes. No, it's probably at a solid 10. We got like 1 round going, you know. It's just a round. Like, people are getting so excited, and like, I'm guilty of this too. Like, who wouldn't be guilty of it? It's the first time I've seen them do anything in my lifetime. But at the end of the day, they only went around. That's all they did.
You know what this situation reminds me of, and I want to. I've always been this way the first 3 episodes. I've kind of tied it in with other sports a little bit to like give a connection roundabout way. You watch baseball, right?
Yes.
You grew up around you obviously we've talked about it. You're Maryland.
Yeah.
And then the Nationals.
Oh yeah.
The Washington Nationals were brought into DC in 2000. Well, they started in like the 60s. They got disbanded. They were like the Senators. Went to Texas, became the Rangers. And then they were the Montreal. Then there was the Montreal Expos. They got screwed over by baseball itself, and they moved back to DC in 2005.
Yeah.
And from 2005 to 2019, up until that 2019 season, they never won a single playoff series ever. From 2011 to 2019 or to 2018, they made the playoffs 6 times. And lost every single time, whether for the one wild card game or a best of 5 series, they always lost. 2019, they go in, had no expectations. They were, I think, going into the season, they were 21-33 at one point.
Wow.
And they stormed they had a 1% chance going into June. They storm back in the season. They get the wild card. They win it on a crazy, ridiculous fashion like this. They storm all the way to the World Series against the biggest cheaters in the league in the Houston Astros and win. They win the World Series in 7 games.
That.
And
Didn't the home team not win a single game in that series or something crazy like that?
It was insane. Yeah. The away team won every single game. So I highlight this in terms of hockey because I'm going to say this because I'm not a Leafs fan. All right, I feel that was kind of vibes from this series and this with how the Leafs have played. And I say this because they brought in talent that helped with leadership and just bringing in guys who understand how to win, how to get success. And they finally start getting the few lucky breaks that you need for a deep playoff run. And I think that's the foundation of helping getting somewhere forward. And that's kind of where I want to tie, because I think if there's a chance to start believing, it's now.
Yeah, but at the same time, well, it's hard to say that because like we're in game 1 of the second round. Like, I have a very hard time with it. I really do. I'm sitting here like I'm thrilled that they went around. I think it's like at least the beginning of something having a chance to happen.
If nothing else, it saved Dubas's job. Not sure if it saved Keith's. I think it should, but
I think both of them are fine for now. I think they both are. Dubas should get re-signed tomorrow for the moves he made at the deadline, especially if he can re-sign O'Reilly.
And like, drafting as well.
His drafting's been great. Matthew Nyes has been great.
For the record, I know they lost today, but Matthew Nyes has 4 points in 6 games.
First NHL Golden Knight.
Did he even play in the regular season?
He played for the last 3 games because he played for Minnesota all year. Hobie Baker finalist, though.
Oh, he played for University of Minnesota the whole time.
Yeah, he played until they lost to Quinnipiac in the Frozen Four national championship.
Got it.
Yeah, that was a heartbreaking one. But like probably one of the worst moments of his hockey career happened in Tampa, and then probably his best hockey moment of his career happened in Tampa. Like, it's crazy. But like, getting off the Leafs, because I don't want this show to be like centered on the Leafs. Like, it's been 19 years. Like, it's great. They still have a whole another series to be played. Do you want to get into the Kraken, or do you want to get into?
I guess let's get both our teams out of the way, and then we can run into the rest, because I think it'll flow a little bit easier. So, second year, baby, let's go!
Yeah, you did something that we couldn't do in 19 and 2, man.
By the way, I think I saw it was the first time in NHL history that a team's first playoff series was against or beat the Stanley Cup winner.
Yeah, you guys are the first expansion team ever to beat a Stanley Cup champion in your first ever playoff series.
That's insane to me. Now, granted, I think some decent things fell our way, but also I think this is equally fair because people are going to, I know as fans are going to whine and whine and whine. Oh, we didn't have Landeskog. Makar got suspended.
Makar's suspension was warranted.
Screwed himself out of the league.
I don't know.
We will talk about that for another off-topic episode.
Yeah, because I'm like...
But because if you haven't seen that story, it's wild. Look it up. Look up Valerina
I hope it's not true. I hope for, like, everyone involved that
I really do as well. But it's not looking great.
I don't know.
But, yeah, no. Between that... So I have like all that stuff. I had sympathy a little bit, but then I remembered Burakovsky's injured. One of our better players has been injured since January and hasn't been back. B. Eberle was still playing. I think
Eberle was playing hurt. McCann was playing hurt.
And then McCann.
Yeah. Hey, you guys at least got a suspension out of it, but My gripe.
He got one game. McCann didn't play game 5 through 7, and we still somehow pulled it off. I have no idea how.
How I would structure the rules for suspensions, especially with head contact. If you hit someone in the head, the player that made the hit should be suspended for however long the other player's out.
Amen.
If it's for the rest of the series, it's for the rest of the series. Because oftentimes it's a star player getting hit by some fourth line guy, and this didn't happen this time, but especially for a situation like this, if you want to move the game away from headshots, you have to make the penalties harsher. You have to.
Mind you, this is the second time now NHL that someone got head checked.
This is in the playoffs. In the playoffs, there's a lot more.
I only think of 2 that have been really bad.
In this series, there were 2. One of them, I'm shocked there was no suspension on. Mm-hmm. It was Cale Makar on Jared McCann.
Yeah, that one.
And then it was Jordan Eberle on Cogliano.
That was bad. No.
Fractured his neck.
I'm surprised Cogliano did not get
He might never play again.
I feel really bad about he should have gotten suspended for probably the rest of the series easily, if not more.
Oh, he should have gotten... If Michael Bunting's hit got 3 games, come on. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that got 3 games.
That got 3 games.
That got 3.
Makar got 1.
Makar got 1. Matt Dumba got nothing. Matt Dumba got nothing for almost killing Joe Pavelski.
I'm gonna say something that's not controversial.
I swear there was another one.
There probably was one that I'm forgetting.
I swear there was a Carolina one against the Islanders, and I can't remember.
I don't remember it either, but I'm going to say something that's not controversial. I've thought this for a long time. Ever since the Tom Wilson incident against the Rangers in 2021, the bubble playoffs.
Oh, God. I thought that was a regular season.
Yeah, he broke Panarin's leg. He sucker punched Pavel Buchnevich.
While he was down and knocked out.
He knocked someone out when they didn't even drop their gloves.
That was Buchnevich. Oh, no. Yeah. I remember that fully. He hurt Buchnevich, then punched him while he was knocked out cold, got into a fight with Artemi Panarin, and he got a back injury.
Yeah,
and he yanked his hair.
Yep.
No one knows that. Most people don't remember that. He yanked the hair. I'm a Caps fan, and I hate Tom Wilson a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he's there's being a pest like Marchand, and then there's just sometimes
there's just being a dirty player.
And there's just being an idiot.
Yeah.
It's more than being a dirty player. You're just an idiot. You're just an idiot. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But anyways, keep going.
Because with a situation like that, I've played the game before. You get angry, you get heated, but you shouldn't be grabbing someone's hair and pulling him down. This is old news, so it's irrelevant right now. What is relevant though is George Peros, who is the head of the Department of Player Safety, who hands out the suspensions. He might be the most useless fucking person I have ever seen in my entire life.
It's bad.
I could do his job 1,000 times better than him. A blind person can do a job better than him.
Called out by James Dolan. Do you know how ironic that is?
He's
terrible. How ironic that is? Go watch a video on how James Dolan handles everything with the Knicks.
He's terrible.
He's an awful human being, and he's calling out George Peros. If that's not the pot calling the kettle black, I don't know what is.
I don't understand how he still has a job, but especially with the playoffs, man. Games get intense. We know that.
Yes.
It's just one of those things where you shouldn't be able to take liberties just because it's the playoffs. Because at the end of the day, these guys are human beings. Like, they're going to suffer these, like, horrible injuries, and someone broke their neck. Yeah. Like, you need to step in here and do something.
I felt awful when I saw that hit.
Even if, like, they don't call a minor penalty at the time, like, there should be merit if someone is seriously injured off of a hit to the head or a boarding call. You should be able to go in and give supplemental discipline afterwards. It doesn't matter if you get a penalty or not.
You know what's the worst part about it?
What?
I think this is all because it dates back to, ironically, it dates back to Joe Pavelski. You know what I'm talking about.
The Vegas hit.
The Vegas one where they gave up 4 power play goals in 5 minutes.
And the refs are terrified that it's going to happen and it's going to affect someone's playoff run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Exactly what I turned Vegas into a cancerous franchise, personally.
Vegas has been...
Vegas, as a Seattle Kraken fan, I hate their guts anyways.
I think Vegas gets a lot of hate because they got, like, really good in a really short amount of time. That first Cup final appearance. Now, granted, I was cheering for them because I'm a big Fleury guy. I've always been a big Fleury guy. But with the treatment of him, with Robin Lehner, Gerard Gallant was another one.
Oh, God.
Max Pacioretty selling him off and then trying to trade Dadonov when Anaheim was on his no movement clause. That was really, really funny. That was peak Golden Knights. But, like...
Yeah.
But...
It's
for the playoffs to prosper, you need to have, like, harsher penalties.
There's
for
2
these
things they
hits
have to get better on. The head injuries is one.
Yeah.
High sticking is another.
Yeah.
If you can't get those 2 things right, you're always going to have tainted playoffs.
You are. But just in terms of, like, the Kraken getting back into them, like, I'm just really surprised at how good they played.
Pulled off something that I was shocked about.
And the more surprising thing, they didn't have a point per game player the entire series.
The guy with the most points, was Yanni Gourde. We didn't have a guy with more than 2 goals.
But you had enough players who scored. Like, this is what I was saying before the playoffs even started. The Kraken had
1-0 to the Stars, by the way. Freaking Joe Pavelski.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
But the Kraken, this is what I was saying before. Even look at the regular season. They didn't have someone like who was bona fide other than Jared McCann. But they had so many guys who had like 20, 15, 25, 20, 20, 15. It's like those types of teams, it's the same reason why Vegas made the Cup final in their first year. Those kinds of teams with all that depth scoring, it's almost impossible to defend. Like, if you guys beat the defending Cup champions, like, I think you guys could go farther than a lot of people are expecting.
I also think, though, the Avs were massive frauds.
Yeah, but it's really because...
And it just kind of started showing themselves up, especially when the playoffs rolled around. Granted, they also, like I said, they had bad luck with the Andrew Cogliano hit. We've talked enough about that.
The injuries, the off-ice issues.
They had no Landeskog. They had no Chuchkid. They had no... what's the guy's name?
Cale Makar was suspended for a game.
They had another good defensive player who was out for a decent bit.
I think it was Josh Manson who was out for a little bit.
Josh Manson? No, he's offensive. Yeah, Josh Manson was out and Danton Heim was out. Or Darren Helm was out.
Darren Helm, yeah. Darren Helm didn't play much this year.
No.
I think it was like 1 or 2 games. It might have been like 1 or 2 games even. So he was out for a long
outside
time.
The top line of McKinnon and Lehkonen and why am I brain? Mikko Rantanen, yeah. They just did not have much production.
But no, there was a point where I thought Nathan McKinnon was going to win the whole series for him. He's that good. He's that good. Like, Nathan McKinnon is like top 5 guy. He's really good. He's so good.
He's an alien. He is an alien.
Just his shot, like I see him cork up on the stick, and it's a rocket every time, and it doesn't even look like he's getting any effort. It looks like he's just shoveling it, and it goes like 100 miles an hour. It's crazy.
No sense.
People talk about Matthews' release, but like I would argue McKinnon might have a better shot. He has the Crosby-esque shot where like that wrist shot, it doesn't look like much, but it's a rocket every time he shoots it. But it's crazy.
I was going to look at this because I was curious about it when you were bringing it up, the Kraken with how many players are scoring.
Yeah.
We had 15 different players score a goal in that series.
In that series? 15?
Yes.
Like goals?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
3 players had 2. Jaden Schwartz, Morgan Geekie of all people.
I don't even think the Leafs had 10.
Morgan Geekie had 2 goals.
Wow.
How, I have no idea. And then Bjorkstrand he was doing nothing the whole series. They like, all right, I'm gonna single-handedly win it for us.
That game 7 was one for the ages.
Because we lost Jerry McCann, we're like, hi, Ty Carter, you haven't played a game this year. How about you come into game 5?
Oh my gosh.
What did he do? He scored the game-winning goal for us.
Yeah, he was the AHL MVP too. Like
that was
pretty
insane.
Good call up. That's a pretty good call up.
If we have him and Shane Wright next year,
that's what I was saying.
Beniers is only getting better. Oh my god, it'll be so crazy.
That's what I was saying. But
if we could actually get a round of Grubauer not playing like crap, which is like we got that this time.
Broken clock is right twice a day, so you might win another round. You never know.
That requires
if Bobrovsky
can
beat the Bruins, if Sergei Bobrovsky can beat the Bruins, Grubauer can beat the Stars.
Oh, let's go right to that series out, don't we? I think it's time we do this. You're going to see me curse a lot here. I'm going to curse a lot here.
I'm going to start
Fuck
swearing.
You, Bruins. Fuck you. How do you do that?
I'm going to start swearing.
I'm going to do it. No, I am. I actually am going to do this. I want to know how. I want to know how you manage that. How do you do that to Patrice Bergeron?
Dude.
To him. That's probably his last season. His dad has cancer right now. How could you actually do that to him?
And the thing with Bergeron.
How?
Bergeron had, I have a lot of respect for Bergeron. He's a longtime rival of the team I like, but he is
one of the nicest players ever.
I have a ton of respect for him, especially going out there when he didn't have to the last game of the season to play in Montreal in front of his father. I feel out of the players on the Bruins, I feel the worst for. I'm gutted for both of the goalies for Boston because they had such a great year, and Jeremy Swayman's press conference after the game was pretty sad. Just seeing Patrice Bergeron hug all of his teammates like that, and especially the embrace with Marchand. I'm like, I think that's it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about this during the offseason, but
I think
this may be. I'm dead serious.
It's the biggest choke in NHL history. I think it might be.
You guys might not be the biggest chokers in the league anymore. I'm dead serious. They're up there. I'm still saying it, but. Yeah. I don't think this takes the cake for any choke. I will stand by this. I will die on this hill for you. This takes the cake as the worst choke ever, and I don't think you're going to find anything else
I think it's worse than 2019.
This is worse than the 2019 Lightning. This is worse than any choke, any Game 7 choke the Leafs have had. I'm dead serious.
2013
was bad.
2013 with a word.
2021
with
but you guys
a word.
weren't that good that year, so let that sink in.
Yeah, we were an 8th seed playing.
We were an 8th seed playing
the top seed in the East.
Seed. And that's the exact thing that happened. It's the top seed playing the 8th seed.
Yeah.
It was a 40.
And it's Boston again.
It was a 40-plus point difference.
46.
46.
If my math
46 point difference.
Yeah.
Literally, Matthew Tkachuk and Carter Verhaeghe basically two-handedly willed them into the playoffs.
Underrated, though, in that series, Brandon Montour.
Brandon Montour stepped up big time. And actually, it was those two and Anthony Duclair. He had 7
points in that series.
Anthony Duclair came up big for them in that series.
He had 7 points. I think he had 5 goals.
Yeah, he went crazy. He's underrated.
Yeah, but for the Bruins, I'm I watched that series. Once it got to game 5, and Allmark did oh my god, I cannot believe that. Once that happened,
let's say the line.
If
you're a goaltender, tend the goal.
Literally, but the whole problem with that, when I saw them lose Game 5 the way they did, I remember my friend texting me who's a Bruins fan, and he's like, I don't know if they're going to pull this out. And in the back of my head, I'm like, I think that might have been what caused the collapse. It might have, because the Bruins had Game 5 won a solid 5 or 6 times. And the same thing in Game 6. They had Game 6 won probably twice. Game 7 they had won once. Yeah. The Bruins had that series won a solid 11 times. That series could have easily ended in 5. It should have ended in 5.
The amount of times the Bruins have been a disappointment is massive, and I will stand by this because I'm a Western fan.
Yeah.
I could say whatever the hell I want as a fan of the West, as a person who lives in the Western Conference.
I'm staying away from that.
You can talk with crap on the Western Conference because you're there. I will stand and die on this hill. The Bruins, that may have been the most embarrassing series ever in NHL history, and I will stand by it. I will die by that hill. That is worse than reverse sweeps I have seen because you are the President's Trophy. You broke records. You
65
went all
wins.
in. This was your last chance with Marchand, Bergeron, and Krejci. Who knows if Krejci goes back to Europe now?
I think he's going.
He's probably going to go back to Europe.
I think he's going to, or he might retire. I think he's
and
like.
How much does
37.
Marchand have left in the tank? Maybe 1 or 2 years?
Marchand is.
He's 36, ain't he?
He's the same age as Crosby, so he probably has 2-3 years left, give or take. With Pasternak, but I don't think they'll be as good as they've been.
What's that going to do? Like what are they going to do with Pasternak, Charlie McAvoy? What? And what?
They're gonna
Jake DeBrusk, I guess. Yeah,
they're gonna have a lot.
Hope you're ready for the dark years, Bruins. You deserve this with every ounce of humiliation. This is what you get for the amount of crap you said to Tuukka Rask.
Because you can't say that they didn't have that great of a window. They had a solid 15-year window with that core. It
dates back to 2010.
Yeah. They had a 15-year window to get it done, and they got a cup out of it.
That's because Vancouver's an embarrassment.
They probably should have had.
They should have had 4.
They probably could have had 3 or 4. I was gonna say that they could have been up there with the Penguins and the Blackhawks of that generation, where Blackhawks won 3, Penguins won 3, Kings won 2, Bruins could have easily won 3. The teams that really got in the way of them were ones that they really, when you look at those series and look at those rosters and even watch some of the games, the Bruins should have won them. And this one's no different. I don't think it's any different. I think what makes this series loss worse than the others is just how great of a season Boston had, and then from Game 5 on, it just seemed like it was gone.
This is retribution for A, how they treated Tuukka Rask on the way out the door, and B, because I don't know if we talked about it, we never did actually. This is what you get for signing Mitchell Miller, you idiots.
Yeah, that's really that's one of the only explanations I have. Other than, from what I saw in the series, this is why I think Boston lost it in a couple ways. Credit to the Panthers. This is where the credit to the Panthers is going to come in. The Panthers, in games 6 and 7, and even game 1 tonight, they were hard-hitting, they were faster, they took higher percentage shots, they made their power plays count, they got saves when they needed it. They were just the harder-working team. They wanted it more. By the end of Game 5, they wanted it more. And it wasn't just one guy. Sure, they had 3 guys doing all the scoring. But if you go up and down the lineup, they had just had guys that outworked the Bruins.
Yeah, they got worked.
And anyone who thinks the Leafs are just going to roll over the Panthers, even tonight found out the hard way. They're not going to. The Panthers are just a good team. They're a good team. The point differential, there's merit to it. Of course there's merit to it. But at the same time, the Panthers just went out and took it.
Yeah.
The Panthers won that series as much as Boston lost it.
That'll just forever be the biggest meme now in the NHL.
It's the biggest meme until someone comes along and tops it.
I don't think you guys can be the most embarrassing franchise.
We're still
up there, but
I know we're still the most embarrassing. 67 still has a big weight to it.
Let's hope this year is the year, though.
You're gonna look at me, a guy whose team won a round, who has no confidence at all, and you're gonna the Bruins are the most embarrassing. No. Bruins fans have at least had some form of success, even though teams lose. Let's be real. Even the best teams lose. Dynasties lose. Penguins 2018 lost. Lightning this year lost. Who else? Blackhawks got swept by the Preds. It happens. It does.
I forgot about that.
The difference between the Bruins, they had potential to be a dynasty, and it just didn't happen.
It's just
and it happens with a lot of teams.
It
could have easily happened to the Lightning.
Maybe. I don't know. It's just painful. The amount of talent they wasted just
Yeah,
me mad as a fan.
like it happens in all sports. We're based in Pittsburgh. Like look at our football team. With the Steelers, like they had Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell. They had those great players with those great teams. They had potential to be a dynasty. Never happened. It's one of those things where like dynasties can easily happen just as well as a team's full potential never being reached.
That is true.
Like look at the Leafs even. They've had great teams for the last like 5-6 years, and they just now are winning a playoff series. It's a similar dynamic. Like it's one of those things where, sure, you can be a great team in the regular season, you can be world beaters even, but if there's a team that wants it more and you're just banking off winning like you always have, it's not going to happen.
Quick question, because I know they're not in the playoffs. You think Penguins would have even had a shot at the Bruins, or you think they would have gotten ran?
That's tough. I mean, do I think they win the series? No. Because I think like I said before, what won the Panthers the series was their speed and their toughness. The Penguins
have no speed.
Arguably had the toughness, didn't have the speed. That's where I think the Bruins would have eaten them alive.
That's where Kachuk is is a god for them. Like him, Duclair, Barkov, like those guys.
Sam Bennett. Sam Reinhart. That's Siri. Hello. Here's what I found.
No hope for Bruins fans.
Yeah.
An endless chasm.
It'll be interesting.
Quickly, let's go to which series we want to wrap up next. We got two more to talk about.
Let's go Devils and Rangers, because that one's another arguable choke in my opinion.
LOL Rangers.
That one's another arguable choke because the Rangers through games 1 and 2 looked great. They
outscored the Devils 10-2.
They looked great. Like Patrick Kane looked like his old self. Zibanejad had a great series. Kreider had a great series, and then for whatever reason, the main thing that I was talking to another friend of mine who's a Rangers fan, the thing that I noticed that the Rangers stopped doing, they stopped trying to do what they do best with Kreider and Panarin. It's always Panarin with the precision passing with the great dishes. It's either Panarin or Fox with Kreider in front. That's what makes them good. It's those three doing their thing. Kreider tips in pucks. Probably he's top 3 with deflecting pucks behind Crosby and Joe Pavelski.
I'd say Zach Hyman's up there as well.
Zach Hyman's up there too. But
this last season, yeah.
You outscore your opponent 10-2. And you go away from everything that made you successful. I get Smead had a great series. He did.
They did stonewall him a bit, but
at the same time, you go away from everything that made you successful. It's like the Bruins.
I want to highlight the games, the 4 games they lost. Here's how many goals they scored in those games. In the 4 losses they had, how many goals do you think they had?
I know they got shut out in Game 7. Let's go with 5.
In the 4 games they lost, they scored 2 goals.
Oh, my.
They scored 2 goals, because I'm not counting Game 6, so they won 5-2.
Well, yeah, because it's
in the 4 games they lost, 2-1 in OT, 3-1, 4-0, 4-0.
Wow. They lost 4-0 twice?
Game 5, they lost 4-0. Game 7, they lost 4-0.
Because, full transparency, I didn't watch a ton of the series.
I watched games 1
I watched
and
it
2,
sparingly because
4 and 5 I watched.
Yeah.
I didn't watch 3, 6, or 7.
From what I saw, I think it's this very similar phenomenon to why the Panthers are still in the playoffs right now. Speed, and they just threw them off their game. That's really what happened, because the Rangers panicked. They did. Once they had a goalie that was able to stop pucks, the Rangers panicked.
All credit to Akira Schmid, by the way.
Yeah, credit to the entire roster. The entire roster.
Underrated.
Yeah.
And we talked about, they're going to be so scary for years down the line.
They're going to be great. Like I said before.
They're having this whole series, and Timo Meier's done nothing.
And, all right, the other thing that we were talking about before, I know people are going to, because this is how it always goes when talking about Jacob Trouba. The hit was dirty. It was dirty.
That was so funny seeing that, though.
Like, you cannot tell me that Jacob Trouba extending his elbow like this and jumped wasn't a dirty hit. It's a dirty hit.
Cheap shot on.
Timo Meyer.
Oh.
It was Timo Meyer in Game 7.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was Timo Meyer in Game 7. It's the reason, like, it's how the Rangers won both their playoff series last year. Jacob Trouba tried to kill someone. It was Crosby first, and who else did they play? I think it might have been Jordan Staal. I think it was Jordan Staal against Carolina.
It was Jordan Staal.
So, like, I'm not a Trouba fan. I'm going to be real right now. Rangers, if I'm the Rangers right now, I get rid of Alexis Lafreniere, and I also get rid of Capo Kakko. I get rid of them both.
Kakko, really?
I get rid of both. They were...
Why Kakko?
Even the games that the Rangers won, they were dog shit. Useless.
Damn. Well, I think a lot of their depth was
Alexis
useless.
Lafreniere, 7 games, 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 points, 0 plus minus, averaged like 15 minutes a night. Unacceptable.
That's trash.
You can't have that. You can't. He's a first overall pick. Like, move him.
Like,
you have to.
didn't even have a goal that series either.
He did. He had 2 assists.
$11.5 million.
Yeah. Like, people talk about the Leafs guys not showing up. I can't remember a time where one of their $11 million players had 2 points in a 7-game series.
You want to know how bad that series was? I just realized it. Chris Kreider had 6 goals. And
probably all of them were in
probably the
games
early series.
Yeah.
Tarasenko had 3.
Yeah.
After that, next highest was 1.
Patrick Kane?
A bunch of people.
Yeah.
Phil Chytil, Goudreau, Kakko had a goal. Kane had a goal and 5 assists. Lindgren, Brandon Schneider, don't know who that is. Vinny Trocheck and Zibanejad.
Like,
but,
no, if I'm the Rangers, that whole kid line, I keep Philip Hedl. Other 2 of you, gone. You can get value for them because on your third line, you need like some grit.
You
need some leadership.
He still has, I think, a decent amount of upside, and he got better this last year.
I don't know.
Lafreniere, I would agree you should trade because number 1 pick.
Trade him while he's young.
People drool over number 1 picks, especially when young. B, it just looks like he needs a change of scenery. Kakko, I feel like can still get better. Watching this last year proved it. I think. I don't. Save for the playoffs, he was bad in the playoffs. I will 100% agree with that.
What was his point output this year?
I think he had over 40 points. He had 40 points on the dot.
Yeah, but
he had an 18-goal season.
He's a 2nd overall pick, man.
He's only 22. That's the other thing.
Jack Hughes is 22, and he's putting up 90.
Yo, Jack Hughes is also a stud.
Yeah, but I remember when that draft was going
really
on.
The number 2 pick?
Huh?
Was Kakko really the number 2?
He was a number 2 pick.
I guess I never remember.
It was the same year as Jack Hughes. It's the Matthews versus Laine thing all over again. Look at Matthews. Look at Laine. It's same thing. Literally the same thing.
You are right with that.
I'm like, if I'm the Rangers, man, I do what the Winnipeg Jets did, even though it's not looking good right now because Pierre-Luc Dubois might as well have future Hab on his nameplate right now with the way he's tampering.
China.
But no, with the Rangers, I get rid of Kakko and I get rid of Lafreniere. Especially because if you want to re-sign a Tarasenko, maybe?
You have to keep Tarasenko.
If you want to re-sign a Tarasenko, you do
Tarasenko.
it. If it's between those 2 and Tarasenko, I'm keeping Tarasenko 10 days out of 10.
There's no question about it. Especially because also with Kane, I feel like they're going to have to figure something out with that as well, maybe.
I don't know if Kane stays.
He might not. But if you have
all those guys... I can see Kane going?
Where? Don't say the Habs.
No. I think Patrick Kane will go to the Buffalo Sabres. It's where he's from.
Oh my
Up-and-coming team, playing with Tage Thompson.
Mind you, they almost made the playoffs.
I think he goes to Buffalo.
That would be crazy.
I think he goes to Buffalo, and their playoff drought comes to an end.
Imagine he goes on the second line with Dylan Cousins.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Play out his years where he's from.
I could see that. A lot of teams do it. I mean, Spezza did it, obviously.
Spezza did it. Like a lot of players do it. I don't blame him.
That's just such a frustrating year if you're Rangers fans.
Yeah.
especially with the expectations, they had very low expectations last year.
They almost beat the Lightning.
And they almost beat the Lightning, yeah.
They should have beat the Lightning.
6, I think it only went to 6 though. That series. Did it go 7?
I think it went 7.
I think it went 7 actually.
But no, they arguably should have beat the Lightning. You can't have a team like that, and this is where I would have gotten frustrated with the Leafs, because the Leafs were in the same boat. You can't have arguably a super team that you trade all of these pieces for to get. You wasted a year of Shesterkin. You wasted a year of Panarin's contract. You wasted the Patrick Kane trade. You might have wasted the Tarasenko trade.
That's bad.
You got, like, Himala, I think his name is. Himala, which was the defenseman that came over with Tarasenko. You wasted all of it.
Wait, I thought Himala was with the Sabres now.
No, he was with the Blues and got traded to the Rangers, sorry. But you can't have a team that good and
lose in the first round.
That's why I get so, like, Rangers fans, if you're angry, I 100% get it.
You should
be. It's where my frustration is with Toronto all the time, because they make all of these trades first round. One and done.
It's just one of those things that just made the...
Yeah.
They just made the raw... They had the right moves, but
I don't think they made the wrong moves either.
They just played bad. It's really what it is.
They just lost it.
And I want to highlight something because I was looking at the playoffs. Remember, there's 2 games playing right now.
Yeah.
The first game for the Kraken Dallas Stars game, there's been 6 goals in the first period.
Seriously, what's the score?
It's 4-2 Kraken.
It's 4-2 Kraken?
4-2 Kraken.
You guys are gonna win the cup, I swear to God.
It's 4-2 Kraken. Bjorkstrand has a goal. Eberle has a goal. Jade Schwartz has a goal, and Justin Schultz has a goal. Justin Schultz has like 6 points.
I swear to God, you guys are gonna win the cup.
Thanks, Penguins.
No, like, here's the thing. Here's the thing I could, like, easily see, even though my team's down 1-0 in their series right now.
Imagine it goes Kraken Leafs. That would be insane.
The Leafs are going to pull a Washington Capitals and beat a expansion team for their first cup in 54 years, won't they?
That would break my heart, wouldn't it?
It would literally
as well. It'd be in 7 as well.
It would literally be Washington Capitals syndrome all over again. I'd feel bad for you. I'd feel bad for, like, the Kraken fans, but, like,
I'd just cry.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. I'll just go cry about it. We'll be all right.
It's like, no, we might have like an all-out war if that series happens.
If that happens, we're streaming every game. There's no question about it. We're streaming the game.
Your team is ass. No, your team is ass.
We'll be talking so much trash.
Yeah.
Even though we are good friends.
Matthew sucks.
I guess let's highlight one last series and then get into the predictions, then we'll kind of wrap up everything.
Yeah.
Last one I feel like we don't have much to say about. Unless you got stuff for is the Oilers-Kings series.
I have a lot to say about this.
I want to hear this.
Series,
I didn't have a lot to say because I just thought the Oilers were better.
Oh my God, I think this series was probably the best one of the first round. In terms of just speed and just, you could have like a 2-goal lead or a 3-goal lead and it's gone in like an instant.
Yeah.
Like if you're a fan of a team that's not in the playoffs, I highly recommend watching the Oilers. I do. It is high scoring, it's fast, it's exciting. McDavid's out of his mind. Draisaitl's out of his mind. Like,
mind you, also
what subs for it is their goaltending is so bad to where you don't know. You don't know. Like, the Oilers could be up like 6-2 or something to a team that's just miles worse than them.
It's so bad in the playoffs. They literally. I don't know if you remember which game it was. I don't remember which game it was. Jack Campbell got the win for one of the games.
Game 3, I believe.
Was it game 3?
It might have been game. It was either game 3 or 4.
Maybe. It was the OT game. It was game 4.
Oh,
the OT game 4. They were down. Ooh. They got 3 on their head in the first period, and after that they yanked Stuart Skinner after the first period. And somehow in the second period they go from 3-0 down to tied. And then they both each get a goal in the third period, and then Zach Hyman walks it off.
Oh, I miss him. I miss him, but
it's
my
wild.
main thing about the series. There are a couple things about the series. Number one, in terms of officiating, that series was probably the worst for both teams. It was bad. It was really bad.
What I saw online, it was bad.
Like, no, there was. I remember this clearly because it was a Trevor Moore overtime winner. I think it was game 3. I think it was whatever one was in LA.
Yes, it was game 3.
It was the LA overtime game. The puck is like trickling up, right? Mm-hmm. And it changes direction. Now, I'm no expert, but the Kings player that hit it, I actually think it was Trevor Moore as well.
That was Sean Dursey.
It was one of the two. It hits his stick, and his stick's a little bit like high in the air, you know? I think there's a penalty for that. You know, let me know, like, tweet me, do whatever.
It's almost
let
like
me know what penalty that is, because I don't know what penalty that is.
It's almost like we didn't talk about it early in the episode.
Yeah, like, I'm no expert, but...
What's it called?
Like, no, the funniest tweet I saw, though, was it was an Oilers fan, and, like, Oilers fans, I'm sorry, but your fans are so funny when they're complaining.
Oh, yeah. No,
they complain, like, about literally everything. Some of it warranted, some of it not. But that's every fan base. But, like, the Oilers, I think it's just because there's so many McDavid fans to where... Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
But someone legitimately tweeted that the refs should get, like, fucking physics degrees or something like that. Like, we need higher educated officials with physics degrees, dude. Anyone with a college understanding of physics knows... Like Luton, long week. Newton's like third law of motion.
Law, baby.
Yeah, too many L's. But Newton's third law, like if it hits this object, it goes back down, or I don't know. But like, here's the thing, guys. I am an undergrad math student. I've taken a couple physics courses. Dude, no. No. Just no. No. Literally no. If you are going to sit there and just breathe in enough copium to the point where you think that officials should have actual physics degrees, here's what I want you to do. You see this? It's a phone. I want you to reach in to your pocket. Just slide it in there. Slide it in. Just leave it. Just put it away. Put it away. You're no. Just no. Stop it. Now,
sometimes
like
people just say out the wildest shit, though.
But like, they had a point. Like, did the guy have a point? Sure. Was he hyperbolic as all hell when he said it?
Yes.
Yeah. It was a bad call. I think it was a bad call. There were a bunch of bad calls. Like
it was garbage.
The officials in that series were
there's
terrible.
2 series that were really bad with officiating. Canes Islanders. That sucked.
The stick leading directly to a overtime winner, except it was a guy getting clocked in the face instead of the puck.
Don't remind me. I had the Islanders winning that series.
So did I. I should have picked the Panthers. I knew I should have picked the Panthers. My first go around filling out the bracket.
Can we also appreciate? I had the Bruins sweeping the Panthers.
Dude, you said Bruins in 3, man.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. You said Bruins in 3.
Dude, I said the Panthers should have gotten there. They got so lucky. I forgot about that. Oh, I'm going to become a meme, aren't I? No, dude.
You also had Minnesota winning the cup.
Don't remind me.
What are you doing?
Don't remind me.
Dude, that's arguably worse than me picking the Leafs to win the cup.
That's so funny, though.
That's arguably worse than me picking the Leafs to win the cup.
We also appreciate, though, I think the biggest thing that has helped the Oilers this series, 2 things. Evan Bouchard is a god.
Yeah.
He is actually insane. And I think that's something that is very underappreciated. Like, we talk about how good Darnell Nurse and all this stuff is.
Evan Bouchard.
40 points.
Yeah, because he's when they traded away Tyson Barrie, he became their power play quarterback, and he's been great.
Where did Barrie go? Oh, wait,
Nashville.
never mind. I remember. He could get the point, too. Matthias Ekholm is probably their best defender they've had in a very, 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 very long time.
Yes, he is.
Like, he is arguably way better than Darnell Nurse. And that's saying a lot.
I'm here to tell you he is better than Darnell Nurse right now.
Because I remember him back in Nashville. He was a pain.
He was great. Like, the guy's pain in the ass to play against. Really good player, really good defensively, responsible.
And we've also crapped on them all the time that they've never had good defenders.
Because they don't spend the money where it's needed.
And now they finally did. And now the Oilers are just annoying now.
Now they're, in my opinion, they're probably the favorite to come out of the West.
Yeah.
In terms of just looking at like the sheer betting odds and that sort of thing, I I'm having a hard time betting against. The Kraken, even though the Stars are my Cup finalists, just because of the amount of depth they have. A lot of teams are going to have trouble keeping up with it because the Kraken up and down the lineup score at will. I don't know how they do it.
Case in point, Justin Schultz scored again.
Yeah.
But Schwartz scored. I think Eberle might have scored his.
For the Oilers to be successful, Leon Draisaitl had a great series, fantastic series actually, probably the best series I've ever seen him play. You need to get more out of McDavid, and I never thought I would say that. You need to get a little bit more out of McDavid because the guy needs to control the play. You need to have. It's the same problem they had last year. McDavid was controlling all of the play because Draisaitl was hurt. It might be very similar this year, actually, because it looks like McDavid's hurt this year.
10 points through this, but it's been 3 goals to 7 assists.
That's not bad. That's good.
Whereas Leon Draisaitl's had 7 goals to 4 assists.
Yeah.
And then
McDavid needs to have like a bigger impact, I think.
I think there's one guy that's hurting them a lot right now. And you know which one I'll say in a minute. You go ahead, finish your point.
But, like, in terms of McDavid, I think what's going to make the Oilers more successful and make them have a deeper run is McDavid needs to drive the play more. He's putting up the points, but he hasn't really been driving the play as much as he has in previous years. I think it'll come. It's coming.
They will. I think if there's one thing that is hurting them bad right now, it is
goaltending.
Well, the goaltending's obvious. That one's obvious. As dark as this table is, or my sweatshirt, it is blatantly obvious because it's about as white as me. Anyways, no, the thing that's I think really hurting them is they're not getting enough production from basically players 3 and 4 on their team, which is Nuge and Hyman.
Hyman was better later in the series.
He did get better as the series went on, but Nuge was not good at that series.
Nuge was a ghost.
He did not. He had 4 assists. Where? I have no idea. But he was he just did nothing of note.
Especially on the power play. Couldn't get a power play to save their lives for a couple of games too.
Even when they did, he wasn't good on it.
Yeah.
This is one of those things where they desperately need him.
Arguably, they should have probably taken him off the power play and moved him somewhere else.
Yeah,
give him some second power play time. Let him drive the play. Let him get more confident.
And especially because they're getting the depth scoring. Kane stepped up big. Clint Costin stepped up and he got 3 goals this series.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of Clint Costin.
I have, but only because I watch with the World Juniors and he was a great player for the Russian World Junior team. I think it was 2018. He was great. Yeah.
Fair.
But Oilers, I could see him going. I could see him going a long way.
I definitely could. I guess to wrap up our first ever video. 2 things. 1, get your anger out.
Oh, what?
ESPN, baby.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Talk about Game 1 broadcast.
This guy is so irrelevant that I have forgotten his name. His name is Steve Levy. All right, ESPN. I know that it is a Canadian team against an American team. I understand that. But here's the thing. Huh?
Who's the other broadcaster?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I was so mad at just watching Steve Levy that it took away from really. I had to watch the game on mute.
I know we were running it because I was running my ranch radio show just an hour ago before we recorded this, and I remember because you had the whole game on mute, and we were watching it the whole time, and I was like, this is painful.
This guy could not go 30 goddamn seconds without making some joke about any of the Leafs players, and he would say it like he was being cheeky and that it was funny. I'm like, dude, the same joke is not funny 18 times in a row. It's like the Vasilevsky X-ray goggles thing. Leave it the fuck alone. The joke is funny maybe 2 or 3 times, but just stop. Literally just stop. Comment on the game like you're there to do, and be neutral. That's all people want.
It's also bad as well.
The Canadian broadcast is more neutral than ESPN.
If I remember correctly, he was the color, if I remember correctly, for ESPN for that game. if I remember
For
correctly.
the Leafs game?
I think so.
No, he was the main commentator.
He was the play-by-play.
He was the play-by-play. It was terrible.
Oh, that's disgusting behavior.
It was terrible.
Because fun fact, because I'm in sports info and media, the play-by-play is supposed to shut his damn mouth most of the damn time and cover the game. Throw insight here or there, but let your color do most of the actual analysis. Yes, and what makes me annoyed is I've listened to Steve Levy before. He does, if I remember correctly, he does Sunday Night Football on ESPN with Louis Riddick and one other person.
He's even terrible on Monday Night Football.
Oh, no, it's Monday night. I'm an idiot. Sunday night's NBC. Thank you for catching that mistake.
Yeah. But he's even bad on Monday Night Football.
He's garbage on Monday night. I only listen to Monday night because Louis Riddick is actually really good at his job.
He also does...
I don't remember what else.
For the NHL, they do like the sports desk thing, like the sports desk for like the intermission report. That's where he's normally on, and he's still an asshole on there, by the way, because he literally sits there like this after he makes a joke. Like,
there's just some guys, it's like, and the biggest thing that bugs me, because I've bashed guys on ESPN before.
Because they deserve it.
In particular, you might not know. The one I can't stand on ESPN, there's two people, Bomani Jones.
Yeah.
And Max Kellerman.
I
think those two are a burning passion. They're disgraces to what actual reporting and actual TV hosts. Okay, I'm going to put that on my phone here for a minute.
If you get fired from a show that has Stephen A. on it with Skip Bayless.
And Molly, those two collectively stink together. Anyways, I'm going to go on a bit of a rant here for a minute.
Go ahead.
Oh, because this is personal to me when I see stuff like Steve Levy and stuff like this. I see it with Steve Levy. I see it with Greg Amsinger on MLB Network. Oh, I hate him with a passion.
Yeah.
And it bugs me to no end because your job is to report on all this stuff through all of it. And I may be a Kraken fan, I may be a Seahawks fan, a Phillies fan, whatever. All that stupid bias that you have, whether if it's political, personal, sports related, take that shit, throw it at the door. That's not your job if you are actually reporting here.
It's why, especially with the smaller sports, and I think the MLS was really smart by moving to Apple TV, where it's a national broadcast 24/7, like with neutral announcers. The reason why people have been changing the channel on ESPN, just the amount of bias that they've had for like a couple of teams. And since the NHL has made the jump from NBC to ESPN, the TNT and the TBS broadcasts are great.
They're amazing. I actually love them.
If I'm them, I move their national broadcasts to TBS and TNT full time. Because the ESPN crew
stinks.
The only one who's any good, in my opinion, is PK Subban.
PK Subban on ESPN.
He doesn't call games, but just the ESPN deal, it's going to hinder the growth of hockey.
It's going to hurt
because they're never, number one, they're never on the main NHL channel or the number one ESPN channel. It's always like ESPN2 or ESPNU.
Oh, God, even worse.
I don't know why they made the deal. I love hockey. It's number one in Canada, but there's a reason why it's not number one here. And ESPN is just causing more issues.
And no offense, and I'm going to say this right now, I think ESPN has really lost their versatility. And I will stand by this because they have had this hurt themselves. And you could find tons of videos that back up these claims since the pandemic because they had many layoffs. In particular, the main ones were Dan Le Batard and there was another person. I think it was Mike Greenberg.
I think it was Mike Greenberg. I don't remember.
Might have been. There was another guy, and Dan Le Batard, which I think good riddance because he's also not a good human being. But I state all this because ESPN has lost a lot of their value, and one of the biggest reasons was Stephen A. Smith. Good reporter, I will sit here and agree. Bad for the overall growth of TV for sports broadcasting? Absolutely yes. When him and Skip Bayless made First Take, it single-handedly screwed up sports reporting
And
to a high degree.
I think Stephen A. would be good in like a setting like this on like a podcast.
Yes.
I think he'd be a very good podcaster like your Pat McAfee.
He'd be a top
like your
10
Steve
all
Dangle.
time.
Like, I think he'd be good doing that, where I think ESPN is falling behind in terms of like coverage of sports. Like, sure, you get the games, like you get all that.
They don't have enough experts.
It's their supplementary content to where this is why I think people just aren't watching anymore, because like the growth of YouTube, you have these new creators who are arguably putting out better work in a significantly less amount of time. It's on demand, and you can pick and choose who you want to hear a certain topic from. It doesn't always come from these big personalities that in their eyes can do nothing wrong.
And I think that's the other part about it that hurts it as well, with especially in hockey and all this stuff. Like, the biggest thing that destroys sports reporting, especially nowadays, is because they died on this hill of how they ran First Take of, we need a bunch of hot takes.
And it's a bunch of loud voices just saying just outlandish over each stuff. I like Stephen A. when he's on his podcast, when he's doing his thing by himself. But when he's on First Take, it's like a completely different person.
It's that.
I respect
Undisputed with Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless. That one's garbage.
Arguably, I think if you move Shannon Sharp with Stephen A., I think it arguably gets better.
Maybe, but
I think it does, because I think Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. have like a very similar way of doing things in terms of like the debating show.
There's also just like there's a lack, like you talked about. There's just a lack of versatility, because it's like I remember this so well because I watched this on Urinating Trees. ESPN video. He did a follow-up like years later. They had Stephen A. Smith covering MMA.
They did, and he knew, and he knows nothing about it. And because like Stephen A., he is very clearly a football guy and a basketball guy.
Yes, and that's not.
And
he's
good at that. Like, do what you're good at. Like me personally, like even in like this setting, great at hockey, know a lot about football. That would be like me trying to cover like baseball or MMA or tennis. Yeah. Like I couldn't do it.
I feel like for me, like right now, I'm a big baseball guy. I'm getting more into hockey and like all these stuff. But that would be like taking me and throwing me at professional lacrosse and like, all right, do play-by-play. Like I can learn it.
You could probably do it. It's similar.
That doesn't mean I'm qualified and should talk about it. Like professionally, like what you would see on like the NHL network, because there's a lacrosse network. There probably is. I don't remember what it is. Anyways,
there might be.
But it's like the stuff like that, or like professional tennis. Like I'm not qualified to do that. So in that case, it's like what you see with sports businesses and hockey and all this stuff. The people who do the most successful stuff are the people who hire experts and then get out the way.
Yeah. Like, also hire experts that are, like, passionate about the sport. That, like, you can't have one expert who's an expert on, like, every single major sport in this country. It's not doable. It's not.
Very hard anymore.
There are too many sports happening all at once, and to get someone to have, like, a competent take on every single sport, you cannot do it.
It's almost impossible nowadays finding anybody with four sports, like the big four in America anymore.
The big four?
Hockey, baseball,
football, basketball.
You almost cannot find anybody. We are about maybe the closest ones, and I have very little knowledge in basketball, so I'm trying to get slowly back into it. I'm watching the Celtics playoff series. Please don't lose to the Sixers.
Lose to the Sixers!
God, I hate you, James Harden.
I love you, James Harden.
But
you're my boy.
Long story short, the wrap up this whole topic, it's frustrating to me when I see guys like Steve Levy and more, because it's like, to me, especially because like this is the field I go into. This is what I love doing. Like, to me, seeing that personality in me is such a disgrace. It's so bad for sports. And people aren't getting it until these big companies and stuff see that, people don't want loud, obnoxious voices anymore, because look at the growth of the main five who we watch. Like, the main five who I watched who have gotten so big in the last few years: Scooter Magooter, Tom Grossi, Urinating Tree, That's Good Sports by Brandon Perna, and 5 Point Vids. I've watched those five for years and years and years, like, even before they got big, and most of them were barely at 100K, or some were even at like 10. I watched Tom Grossi when he was at 9K. Now he's at 400K and about to do a tour of every football stadium in America.
Wow.
And I highlight this because in the case of hockey and stuff like this, you want people who, like you said, care about the game, but also just have a level of authenticity and relation to all of us. That's what we want.
Yeah.
We don't want big annoying guys who are just going to like spout their opinion.
And like it's okay to have an opinion because there's a fine balance with like an opinion versus like making endless jokes about another team. Because this is why I respect a bunch of the people in the YouTube sphere. Mm-hmm. Sure, they'll make fun of other teams, but their own team isn't safe either.
Yes.
Like you're able to dish it out on others, receive it on yourself, and also dish it out on your own team. Like you shouldn't be doing what some of these ESPN announcers are doing. And from what I've noticed, the ESPN crew needs to be careful because if they think that fans of Canadian teams only live in Canada,
we'll watch
they're lying to themselves. You really think seeing all of these buildings filled up with Leafs jerseys or Oilers jerseys or Calgary jerseys, Montreal jerseys, you really think all of them live in Canada?
No.
You're going to lose so many hockey viewers just by doing crap like that.
Especially
you
because
need to stop doing it. Just stop.
I hate saying this to like spew shots at ESPN, but I mean they have hard competition, especially because Sportsnet. I've only just started watching them the last 2 years, and genuinely they've like skyrocketed in popularity, reputation, all that stuff. And it genuinely shocked because I watched them the first time. I was like, they're all right. Because I would watch them occasionally because they cover the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
So baseball is the first sport I grew up with. And, I started covering it, and then I got to see Steve Angle and all stuff. And I was like, Sportsnet does a really good job covering stuff. And they keep it. I know they have decent bias to the Leafs because it's branded.
Actually, they don't.
A little bit, but like way less than like you would see anything at ESPN, Fox Sports, NBC, all those things.
Their analysts are, but if you actually sit down and watch the hockey games, like the actual games, there's almost none.
And that's something I give a lot of credit to. Sportsnet has done a good job keeping things unbiased, even though it's a branded network in Toronto.
Yeah.
Like their stuff is branded Toronto.
Yeah.
And they keep it unbalanced. I mean, unbiased. That's what I meant to say.
They try their very best to keep it unbiased, especially like if they're playing like a really small market team, like they're literally the goal calls are the exact same when the non-Canadian team scores versus when the Canadian team scores. It's the same thing. That's why
awesome.
they cover like all American playoff series. Like they're great.
They're the only sport with hockey is the only sport, by the way, with multiple teams outside of America.
Yeah, because the NBA has one, the MLB has one.
And the NFL has
the NFL 0.
None.
Wow.
Nah,
but like you'd think they'd be doing better with it, but like ESPN, like really I hope it gets better, or the NHL just decides to go TNT full time for national broadcast.
TNT and TBS.
I hope they do.
I really do because I think they do a great job with that.
It's so much better.
I guess one last thing to wrap it up. I guess actually two quick things. Like one, any predictions for round 2? Anything we want to? Any bold predictions we want to make?
I'll make a prediction on all 4 series. I'll go all 4 series. I'll start West.
And then I'll go after you.
West, I have.
Are you gonna keep it?
Seattle in 7 is how I think Dallas and Seattle is gonna go. Vegas and Edmonton. Edmonton in 6. Devils and Canes. Devils in 7. Leafs, Panthers. Leafs in 6. That's how I think it's going to go.
All right. I guess let me start. I'll do the opposite. I'll go east to west.
Yep.
Let's start with the Leafs series. I'm also going to say Leafs in 6. Canes, Devils. Did you say Canes?
I said Devils in 7.
Devils. I think
it's tough.
I think I also want to say Devils. I really think Devils can make the Cup final.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Devils in 7. I'm going to say Kraken in 6.
Ooh.
Why? I'm going to stand by it. I think our depth scoring is going to come through, and we shut down. If we could just slow down Jason Robertson and Miro Heiskanen
and Rupe Hintz.
I think we got it. Ignore the fact we already given up 2 goals to Joe Pavelski. We are winning 4-2 still.
Yeah.
And then I think we take that at 6, and then Golden Knights, Oilers.
It's tough.
I think you said Oilers, right?
I said Oilers in 6, but I could see it going the other way in the same amount of games.
I think the Knights are just too insufferable. I think Stuart Skinner's going to screw them. I'm going to say Knights in 7.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Kind of similar how we kept it, but actually I was a little more diverse with the West. Or did you say Kraken?
We had the same picks for every series. We had the same picks for every series, yeah.
You said Golden Knights.
No, I said Edmonton. My fault.
But you said Kraken for the...
Yeah, I said Kraken. I said Kraken in 7.
We got some interesting stuff, and then for next week, well, the series won't be done. We'll probably be at the halfway point.
We'll probably be game 3 or 4-ish for both.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Game 3 or 4, give or take. Yeah.
But the other big change will be we will not be in the studio or in DSR. We will be back home, but we are going to make stuff happen. From what I heard, we can do live broadcasts at DSR. I will text Harley. He knows how to do that.
We'll do what we can.
But we got a lot of fun stuff going up because obviously the playoffs are still. This is the time where they start.
Both of our teams are still in it.
Both of our teams are in the final 8. Bring it.
I don't know how.
It's insane.
I don't know how either are.
Bro, this is my second full year of watching third full year of watching the playoffs like in depth, and I'm enjoying it so much.
Now you have a dog in the fight.
And now I have a real reason to watch it more because this series means so much to me. So I think now let's hit the last part of let's hit the very last topic of tonight.
So really just to close it off, I just want to thank really everyone who's known me on a personal level. Just you guys know things have been, for lack of a better term, kind of shitty this year for me. But with that being said, just being able to start up something like this, start reaching out to people, the biggest euphoric moment for me was probably when that goal went in and the sheer amount of people that reached out some people who I haven't heard from in years, by the way.
Really?
There were a couple of people who I haven't heard from probably 3 years.
Really?
Since I graduated high school.
Huh.
So just with that, with people being here through all the struggles, if you guys know it, you know it. I'm not going to air out the dirty laundry on here. That's not fair to everyone. But really, I have a couple of shout outs. I have really shout out to my girlfriend Megan. Shout out to my mother, my father. They've been great throughout this entire thing. My sister has been great. You especially. Just really everyone. There's too many of you to thank. So just thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you guys starting this up, supporting me, giving me the time to heal. I appreciate it more than you guys know. So
I'm glad we started this journey because honestly, for 4 episodes, for 1 month, we started up this thing. We were talking about maybe starting up this upcoming semester in the fall. But I was like, you know what? Let's start this up. We had enough time, and the playoffs were about to start. We were like, this was the perfect time to start this up. And honestly, I'm so glad we did it because in 4 episodes, not only have we started off on the right foot. Generally, this is the most fun I've ever had branding myself on social media, branding ourselves. Let me rephrase that on social media. But anytime it's I'll see some funny tweets you put out or something I threw out there. Or just promoting our stuff on Instagram through our own personal accounts and through the Pond Hockey account. And just how much and how fast we've built up something. It's even if it's just got a few people on it right now. But honestly, the fact that you've told me the first few episodes got 200 plus listeners on Spotify, that feels surreal to me because it's for us who was we kind of just started off from the ground up with basically nothing. Besides our own friends and 2 ideas in our heads.
Yeah. But
this has been amazing.
Yeah, but seriously, guys, thank you so much. If you guys like I always say, if you guys want us to cover something, just let us know. There are a ton of ways to do it. Links and stuff are in a link tree. It's on our Twitter. It's on our Instagram. It's on our YouTube.
Reach out to us in any which way.
YouTube episode will be out.
It will be. We'll probably have it out
by tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see.
What we could do. We'll talk about this. But I think the rough idea of what I want to do with what I think would be a good idea for this would be how SDPN goes about it, where you have the whole live stream up for everybody to watch, which we will get that sorted where we can have the live streams up. We kind of forgot that you have to turn on a live stream 24 hours in advance.
Whoops.
Sorry about that. Should have reminded you earlier.
Oopsie.
Or I should have just remembered. But
that's fine.
Long story short, I'm blanking. How we're going to do this is we're going to have the live stream so people can watch it live. We'll have the live broadcast thrown out as like the full video on YouTube. And I will mess with this as well. We will take the clips of here and break it down into smaller topics.
Ooh, and shorts.
Yeah, and like not as much shorts, but like maybe some shorts. The shorts, we'll have some shorts.
Yeah.
Because we'll have some funny clips this time.
Like me losing my goddamn mind whenever the Leafs disappoint me inevitably.
Or just my meltdown of the Bruins.
Yeah, that's true.
Or our meltdown at ESPN.
Yeah.
But just stuff like that, and then like have individual topics in like 8 to 15 minute formats, and shorts as like for YouTube and maybe even TikTok.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Because that's the fun part about this. We got a long way to go, and we're kind of just experimenting the first few times with like the videos and stuff. So that's why all your support means the world to us, because even for the start, without all your guys' support, we wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
So it means everything. Thank you for everything.
Yep. All right. I think with that, pretty long episode this go around. I think it's probably going to be our longest ever, something like that.
Oh, without question, it's going to be 2+ hours.
But sorry, guys, that we didn't get a live episode out to you this week. We're both in school. It's finals. It's final season, playoff season.
Finals are kicking your butt a little bit.
Yeah, traveling season. But just thank you guys for being patient.
We'll be getting this out to you very shortly.
If you guys enjoyed it, let us know. Until probably next week. We'll see you guys later.
See you later.